Alright, in an attempt to anger the project management community, I'm going to make a video called Why the Triple Constraints Theory, or the Iron Triangle, or the time, cost, quality thingamajiggy is actually wrong. So, firstly I'm going to draw time, cost, and quality. Oh, I'm getting sick just looking at it. Okay. A lot of people use this as gospel. Meetings I go to, I get infuriated by people going, time, cost, quality, this is the only thing that matter. Are they the only things that matter? Firstly, no. Secondly, this term is just so wrong, it's not funny. And the irony astounds me. Have a look at my video on quality versus grade, and hopefully that will explain things a bit easier. Because just to make your life easier, take out the word quality and use grade if you want there. And that fixes up 90% of my issues with it. Because effectively quality is to what degree have you met the client's needs. And that can be considered in terms of time, costs, grade, specifications, other constraints that exist. So initially if you're using that version it's wrong. A much better version to use would be time, cost, and specifications. Scope, whatever you want to use. I like specifications because I look at the product scope there. If you want to know the difference between product scope and project scope, check out the video. I should have called it scope versus scope because that just sounds awesome, like spy versus spy. But check out the scope versus scope video. I'll provide a link because that is not its actual term. Once you've got this triangle together, and these are the main constraints that you'll face on a project. Your project may have an infinite amount of constraints. And if you want to learn more about constraints, check out my constraints video. And I'll provide the link for that as well. So I'm not trying to draw your attention away, but these things explain it further and allows me to do a shorter version of this. Grab the constraints which are the most important for you. And I'm going to use time, costs, and specifications. Then play this game with your client. Say, client, pick two. Pick the two which are most important to you. And we'll aim to guarantee one, an old project management joke. But if you think about it, the client's running an event. He might say, look, time is most critical. And then probably cost, because we don't have infinite budgets. So you get the client to put a ball where they think the project, or how they think the project should be prioritised. Now, think about your company. Your company may have standards, your company may have a way of doing things. Is this how you intend to prioritise the project? Because if it's not, if your focus is going to be on the implicit grade at a cost of cost and time, this difference is going to cause conflicts. Because every decision that occurs, you're going to put the weighting of that decision on the technical grade or functionality, whereas a client is going to go, I want it done now and preferably as cheaply as possible. So that's one game to play, and it's quite a good one. And this comes from the notion that if you try and increase one of these constraints, or if you try and optimize one of these constraints, so I'm going to try and reduce costs. And generally, not always, but generally if I reduce costs, I adversely impact these other constraints. So if I try and make things cheaper, it generally takes me longer to do so. I need to shop around and get quotes, I can't get rushed work, and also the grade tends to slip. Conversely, if I try and increase the grade, I try and increase the scope, try and make it better, bigger, whatever it's going to be, it takes me longer to do so, and the costs tend to go up. So these are interchangeable and independently linked. So it is kind of a balancing act, and I swear I've heard someone call this the balance triangle. I guess it is equilateral, so that would act as a fulcrum, making it a balanced triangle. So if you want to go down that line, cool, whatever. But think about that within your projects. Which is the most important? And if one has to take a hit, which one is it going to be? Also make sure that you've got that parity with the client, so you're on the same page there. Cool, feel free to get angry. I make these videos to make people angry, so go nuts. Alright, have fun.